From my understanding, it was confirmed that it was a bullet. I just don't know if multiple different entities confirmed it, right? I think I've heard that the wound shape and form was consistent with the bullet. I'm pretty sure I have also seen still shots where they captured the bullet on both sides of his head.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I have there. I haven't researched it closely, but
it's crazy.
I did get a chance to actually go to Butler, Pennsylvania, be part of an investigative crew to look at what happened the day that Donald Trump was shot.
Really?
And it's fucking crazy to be there in person, to see how small the space was, to actually see the different barn towers where the counter snipers were sitting, to see there was a slight obstruction from one of the towers towards where Tom Crook was shooting from.
Mm-hmm.
To actually see the roof that Crook climbed up and see the path, how he climbed up it. And then to think of the fact that it was like a 98 degree day, 110 degree heat index day, and he's laying on top of a metal roof trying to stabilize a iron sight AR-15 with his glasses on. And he had that big old dome head. It was pretty crazy, dude.
Yeah, adrenaline going crazy, getting singed.
Yep. And then I got to be part of the same investigative crew went and actually tried to take the shot. So 140 yards in a cornfield away from a human-shaped target with iron sights on an AR-14 or AR-15. So we went out there and tried to recreate the shot, and it was super difficult to recreate that shot. Super difficult to even hit the target, let alone hit the head on the right side on the ear.
Yeah.
Because when you're at that distance, like on an iron sight, the front target is the size of the whole target, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane. And why do you think the CIA tried to kill him? But,
nice try.
I am curious though. Like, it is insane that happened. So, in your opinion, based off the investigation that you did, what was sort of like the main finding that you saw? Was it just a security breakdown in a small town that didn't have that had to rely on local authorities that sort of had miscommunications?
So there were three big findings that I would say were relevant to me. And two of them were covered on the actual investigation. One of them really came to a head when I watched day one of the DNC. If anybody hasn't watched day one yet, I would recommend that they Google or YouTube search Democratic National Convention 2024 day one and specifically look at the speaker who spoke on behalf of the United Auto Workers Union, UAW. Watch his speech because this is going to tell you everything you need to know. Finding number one from our investigation was that it was most likely a security gap, a security guffaw by the Secret Service, because that shit's not easy. It's not easy to come up with everything you need to secure a president or a former president in a rural county like what we had in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So finding number one, most likely a security guffaw. There were funding challenges. I was there with a team of people who were familiar with what it takes to provide security to an event like that. And when there's limitations on resources and funding, it's a challenge. Point number two, there was no training, no significant preparation on the part of Tom Crook before he took that shot. He didn't have an escape route planned. He climbed up on a tin roof, with no escape route. So he was highly exposed. So once he took the shot, he knew
he was going to die.
He either knew it or he never calculated for it, which both ways show a lack of training, right? Because a trained person would have found a way to shoot from an area of cover so that even after they shot, they would have an egress route to escape. He didn't have that. So he was either straight up suicidal or totally untrained and unprepared. Mm-hmm. So whatever drove him up there didn't drive him enough to think through how to escape.
Mm-hmm.
The third finding is my personal finding, and this is the one that really resonates for me. When you watch the UAW, the Auto Workers Union president's talk at the first day of the DNC, you can see why it is that myths are so dangerous. Because he had the entire Democratic National Convention. This is a formal convention hosted by the DNC to nominate the representative for the Democratic Party. And this guy had the entire room chanting, "Trump is a scab. Trump is a scab." It's just incredible to see how much bullying behavior can come out of that. That is one of the highest forms of government event in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And they're resorting to personal attacks. They're resorting to labeling. They're resorting like, Trump is a criminal. Trump is an abuser. Trump is a serial abuser. Like, holy shit, the stuff that they're saying, true or not, right? Accurate or slightly accurate, whatever. The myth is more powerful. So what happens when some 20-year-old misguided kid in Pennsylvania doesn't know the facts, but hears the reverberations of Trump is a scab, he's a serial abuser, blah, 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 blah. What does that make a unstable kid do? What does that make even just a confused 20-year-old kid do?
Right.
It makes them think about violence, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I in general, I hear like political rhetoric in the past 10 years has gotten like off the rails. I think probably particularly coming from Trump. And then I think it's now been imitated and replicated by the other side, which I just think creates like more political division, which in general I think just helps our enemies.
So fresh on me. Freedom.